we have a returning guest who's going to talk about a pretty hot topic right now with interest rates rising this year and a promise for more rises in interest rates. Marc Conn. Marc, remind me again which mortgage company you're with.
I'm with Community Access Lending. We're a wholesale broker in Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right. Community Access Lending. So he's going to talk about what's happening in the mortgage side of the business and real estate here. But before we get to Marc, Ruth, what is happening in real estate?
Oh, so much is happening. I'm going to put you all down so everybody can see the chart. So you'll be in the lobby for a few minutes. So what's going on is we have 20 days of inventory in Las Vegas. Right now, the median priced home is $430,000, but we look for that to go up because of the supply and demand issues that we're having. We have under 2,000 available homes, single family. So that's getting down there. Hopefully, because it looks like if you look at it just listed yesterday, the agents listed 102 single family homes yesterday. We put 79 under contract and we closed 86, which means that, we listed more than we sold. So if we continue with that, then the days of inventory will increase. And I think they will. I think as the holidays, are gone and buying season is coming, I think that more sellers are going to put their homes on the market. And I added something new. The new home sales hit a record in 2021 for the past several years. It hit 1,075 sales per month, which is about 12,900, I believe, per the whole year. Let's hide this guy. Yeah. You can see 12,900 in 2021, and we beat the record all the way back to 2007 when it had 12,596. And of course, in 2006, and Marc will laugh at this, 20,000 new homes because you didn't even need to hardly qualify back then. But things have gotten very, very different since the foreclosure crash, as you see. And builders were reticent to go out and get new home permits because really the market was, the houses were cheap and people weren't buying new homes. They were buying resales, and the foreclosures were coming on the market at record prices, short sales, so on and so forth. So that affected the market. But now, as you can see, the past couple of years, it's just been getting healthier and healthier. And the supply and demand there's just not enough homes to sell to the people that want to buy. And if you take a glimpse into last year's heated home building market, there were two big land sales on the opposite sides of the valley. One of them was $135,000 million deal in Summerlin. Developer Howard Hughes sold 216 acres to Toll Brothers and Pulte, who plan to construct hundreds of houses. And I believe it's going to be over 500 houses. And then in the East Valley, developer Touchstone closed a $33.7 million purchase of the Royal Links Golf Club. And it's going to build more than 1,600 homes. And there's 160 acres there. So different sides of the valley going to have totally different styles of home, different price ranges. And what? It's in there. It's there. Anyway, John needs the housekeeper. He has it. Anyway, so sorry about that. So what else is going on here? The frenzy is not going. We just know the momentum is going to carry into 2022. Is my point. And on the resale side, we're flooded with offers, and we routinely pay over asking price. That's why I suggest that the median price is going to increase. I think right now it's already increased up to about 435 from 430. But I don't like to report it till the end of the month and all the stats are in. But we shall see. We shall see. And then why do people move to Vegas? Why is everybody moving to Vegas? Well, look at the tax comparisons by the state. Nevada, our current sales tax minimum is 6.85%. Now that's in line with California, Arizona, Utah, Idaho, and Oregon. Those Oregon actually doesn't have a current sales tax, which I didn't know. That's remarkable. But then when you go over to, the income tax rate, you look at Nevada, we don't have one. California's is 13. Arizona's is 4.5%. Utah is 4.95%. Idaho is 6.93%. Oregon is 9.9%. And then when you look at the corporate income tax, this is why so many businesses are moving here. Nevada's corporate income tax rate is 0. California is almost 9%, Arizona almost 5%, Utah almost 5%, Idaho almost 7%, Oregon 7.6%. So when you wonder why people are moving here, first of all, the companies are moving here, and then they're advertising all over the place for jobs, which are bringing people here. The latest stat in 2021, it hasn't been revised yet, was 139 people a day. So that is going to continue to give us a supply and demand issue on housing. And right now, this year, 46 investors are buying homes every day, which we like because why? We need rental properties as well as properties to sell. And the new home permits are out of sight this year. I think Home Builders Report said that we're going to have a record year of new home permits. So but then it takes time to do that. And we've got supply chain issues and what have you. So we'll see how all that plays out. When you look at Vegas all over, this is the city. We were established in 1905. And the city itself has a population of 640,000. The businesses, we have almost 20,000 businesses just in the city alone. And if you look at the residential profile, it's amazing as well. I mean, the average income of a resident in Vegas is almost $51,000. And if you look at the workforce, there's 310,000 people employed. The average age in the city is 36 years old. I was really surprised by that. And then when you look at the public school situation, graduation, almost 72% graduate. So that is where we are in the city, just the city. So the fact that we have 19,000 businesses tells you a lot about, how vibrant our economy is. And then one more chart I think I have here for you. Oh, two more. This is the other reason why people move to Vegas, for heaven's sakes. There's 294 days of sunshine. I had a gal from Chicago I sold a house to years and years ago, and at the time I rounded it up. I said, you know what, Betty, we have 300 days of sunshine. She says, you know why? I said, why is that? She said, because Chicago has the other 65. I thought that was cute. There's a 97% increase in the bachelor's degree holders. And we are number 4 in the least congested region for traffic. And number 16 in the safest city in the United States. So we're pretty right in the sweet spot for most people. And then this was an interesting chart. Let me put myself down here in the corner. So if you look at this, you can reach 60 million consumers within a day's drive. And this is a map that shows you, when you travel from Las Vegas to other places, how many miles it is. And it's basically 60 million consumers that you can reach in one day from Las Vegas. And then you can get easy access to all the large California markets and the nearby ports. And we know that's an issue right now, but we went to California Thursday, did a round trip to Santa Barbara, tons of trucks on the road. So that was a pleasant thing to see. And then the same day round trip trucking to Los Angeles and Phoenix. And you take advantage of one-day rail routes to Salt Lake City and Los Angeles. So there's access to the market, to the labor and consumers. And we're strategically located along I-15, which is a 5-hour drive of 9% of the nation's population. Just think of that. It's within a 2-hour flight of 25% of the nation's population. In fact, the region is less than 1 day's drive from 60 million consumers. And of course, we're saying that again and again, and 5 major United States ports that serve the Pacific Rim. These factors go in when people say, well, where am I going to put my business? And the big businesses are moving here because of these statistics that I'm showing you. So we're in the process right now with our website of updating it for 2022 with a lot of this information that will be in the Las Vegas relocation guide. And throughout our website, we will thread the information that's applicable in the different topic areas so that people continue to see that we have a vibrant and very, very successful economic outlook. And I think that's as much as I can think to say today. Hi, Dana. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Believe me, your compliments and comments are my oxygen. So, well, let's get on with the show here. Let's get Max back up here, and we'll get Mark back up here. And let's see if we can't put everybody in the right order. Oh, my gosh. I love it when it works. Dana, thanks again for that comment. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, people don't realize we have one of the best international airports here too in Las Vegas. It's incredible. I mean, international customers come here, clientele. It's really centrally located. Like you said, get access to the West Coast pretty easily. So, all right, let's get on to our guest here, Mr. Marc Conn from Community Access Lending. Here, people don't know this. For people that are joining for the first time to see Mark here, he's also a semi-professional handicapper. Apparently, he's been giving us some sports betting tips, and so I want to start with that real quick, Mark. Actually, introduce yourself for the people who haven't seen you for the very first time. Just give us a little bit of background, what you do, and to start there.
My name is Mark. I've been doing loans since 2002. I'm going to say 2002 or 2003.
Wow.
We've had ups and downs and ups and downs. Went to Tulane University, a degree in political economy. So I actually enjoy all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on in the rate world. And I use predominantly wholesale investors to broker loans to.
Okay, fantastic.
And what is the meaning of a wholesale broker versus your normal bank or mortgage company?
It's a good question. So I would consider there's 3 types of lenders. There's going to be a retail lender, where it's like if you walk into Wells Fargo, you walk into Chase, there's a guy, always there with the mortgage rates on the board. Then there's going to be the in-between, which is called the mortgage banker. And the mortgage banker has warehouse lines, and they fund the loan themselves and then immediately sell it to one of these investors, possibly Chase, possibly Wells. And then you have someone like me, who we actually look for the best fit. And, certain investors have attractive products for certain borrowers, and others have even better niches for that type of a borrower. So I'm able to pick and choose and kind of fit my square peg into the perfect square peg for that. And that lender funds the loan themselves, and there's never, that insta change on month 1. So it goes right away where, let's say I'll broker a loan to United Wholesale Mortgage, and they're going to be the ones servicing the loans out of the gate. So those are the 3 types of lenders that are out there.
So since they're servicing it, does that insulate you from a borrower who doesn't pay in the first couple months?
No. We it's called reps and warrants. So when you're that first example of the retail, the loan officer, he closes that loan, the bank worries about it. He doesn't worry about it anymore. The middle one, they definitely have to worry about that first payment's the most important, because you can't sell a loan without that payment. And then for me, I got to worry about the first 6 months. So it's got to perform. It's got to not be refinanced. It's not got to be sold. There's different penalties kind of on the back end, because there's a lot of work that goes into making the loan. And if there's an intention to not be in the loan for a long term, there's a different type of a loan for that.
So is it up to you at any point to say that the borrower has to have 6 months of reserves, or does that have to come from the actual lender?
So each program has guidelines, And depending, when you get into the jumbo realm of things, then you're really getting into reserves. Multiple properties owned increases reserves. Second home investment increases reserves. But on the conforming side, reserves have been really minimal. I mean, we get the desktop underwriter, it'll tell us if we need any at all. You may see 2 months, on the non-jumbo programs.
And I had an interesting question the other day, and I always tell my people that are my fans that if somebody asks you a question, probably other people have the same question. So somebody said, I want to buy a home in Las Vegas to live in, and then I want to buy a second home because I want to put my parents in that home. So that second home isn't going to have income because they're not going to charge their parents rent. How is that viewed?
So I haven't done it in a while. We used to do it as a dual primary residence. And the way that was done is by showing that the parents had no mortgage. They got their identification right, toward the property that they're buying, let's say, and it's allowable. Now you got to qualify for both payments. So, as long as the children can do that, then it's definitely doable. Another option is, I've seen a lot of people come out here from California, buying for cash. And then after they buy it for cash, we do a reverse mortgage for the parents.
Mm.
That's pretty cool.
And then
so they can, if they qualify income-wise, treat it as two primary residents. That's interesting. Never heard of that before.
You don't want to penalize somebody for taking care of your parents. That's kind of what's going on. But it's not, flashing on the wall, this is how you do that loan. Because I think I've done it maybe 3 times in my whole career. But definitely doable. You got to write letters with explanations, and, it just all got to match up. What they're fearful of is doing, when you do that, then they rent it out. But most of the time, those homes are real close together, almost sometimes on the same block.
And I think that was one of the reasons, perhaps, why the multi-generational homes became popular.
What about if they, like, say the parents do want to live close to you, they don't qualify in their own, and if you become a co-borrower, right? If the children become co-borrowers, how do they view that? Since the children are always going to make more money, their assets are more, things of that nature.
Called a non-occupant co-borrower.
Okay. Yes.
So most people in that range will have some type of fixed income, Social Security, pension. So you add to that.
Okay, so that still gets treated as a primary residence for the parents. Well,
interesting.
That is interesting. It's good to know. Mark, you're full of details, man. I'm glad Ruth asked that question.
There's a different type of loan for everything. What I'm saying may not work for, when I'm talking loans, right? You got FHA, VA, jumbo, conventional. So, I don't want you to think that it's a free for all. What I say works for everything, right? So, my specific product for that one. But yeah, lenders are there to try to make something work. And that's why there's so many investors out there. When I go to these shows, there's probably 6 rows of booths. Everybody. I was actually looking through some old program flyers. They describe all the stuff that they do. And if everybody did the same thing, why would you need 80 of them, right? So everyone's got they kind of do the same stuff, but each of them will have an advantage somewhere. They will have a pricing sweet spot or a lending sweet spot. You see, a lot of these investor loans that are coming up now. They're trying to make it, I think, a little more make sense in the lending. A lot of people think they're getting stricter and stricter, which they are, because it makes sense. You can't just be throw something against the wall, see if it sticks. They want to see history. They want to make sure that you're earning money, that you have money going through your bank, something to make that back end person comfortable. Because it's not just you and Ruth sitting there and collecting a rep payment every month, right? And it's your money. It's pooled with millions and billions of dollars, to get this done across, the world. Now, what's going to come up with the Fed is very interesting when they're going to start, not doing all their purchases. So that's what we're kind of going through right now. And rates are going up.
So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are or reducing their buys of secondary mortgages?
Yeah, not yet, but they say, like the prediction is I think March, and that same thing with the rate hike from the Fed. They were saying a quarter point. Now people are like asking for a half a point. It's already priced in. We lost, I would say, when was like when Martin Luther King Day, like around then. From then till now, I mean, we've lost 3/8 of a point to the interest rate. That's humongous.
Yeah,
So
let's talk about that right now, Mark. I mean, what are 30-year mortgages like on the conventional side right now?
Yeah, we're in the threes, low threes, but we're in the threes. My government rates are right at 3.2, which kind of blows. We can do 2.75 with a little cost.
Mm-hmm.
Jumbo rates are staying nice. The jumbo rates are actually a little bit less than the conforming rates.
Wow.
It's inverted right now. You may see ARMs starting to be a little more publicized.
Wow.
Sure.
Because why would you need an ARM before? If I could get you a 30-year fixed mortgage at 2.35, you didn't need it. When I used to work on a VA team, we were selling 3-year ARMs at 1.75 and 5-year ARMs at 2.25. This was probably like 2014-ish. And, I was at 2.25 30-year fix for the last 2 years.
Mm.
Not even sweating it, lender credit sometimes. I still do have lender credit. So what's neat to me is, let's say if I'm at 3% on a VA, I can go 3.25 and give them back over a point in closing costs. So there's a compression on these rates. Like they don't want to go over 3.25. They don't want to go under 2.75. It's just, we had a nice day on Friday. When everything was red, it kind of helped where we were going. Let's see what happens on Monday. But it's, we're kind of where we were like pre-lockdown, like March 2020. Everyone, little worry in the mortgage market. Are they going up? And then what happened? It just turned and went right back down.
Right.
So
yeah,
I thought it was going to be summer before we kind of were going through what we're going through now. So let's see how the powers that control stuff see it, because we've been through this before. What happened when rates went up last time, Ruth? Remember, like it went up nice and quick, and then all of a sudden the brakes went on houses. So I think we learned our lesson on that. But it's, it is affordability, because real wages, I believe, have gone down 9 months in a row. Everything else is going up. But what we're earning paycheck across the nation isn't. Certain sectors have gotten huge increases, but I think, if rates go up, so if I go from 2.25 to 3, that's almost what 1, 2, 3. It's almost a 30% increase. If you tell me that everyone got a 30% raise this year, I'm super happy. But it's not real.
It didn't happen.
No, so there's got to be a little more control, so it just doesn't. Someone on the fence maybe is not on the fence anymore. I had some pre-quals that were shocked what rates became.
Right. And we talk about this, and we talk about rates rising, but historically, this is still one of the lowest rate environments where we've been in.
And you're going to see, what LOs can do. We can, just like something I wanted to ask you guys about, the new realtor rule. What's the thing with the buyers can negotiate a commission or something on MLS or on a contract? I heard things coming on that. No,
not yet. The Department of Justice, it's still discussing that with the National Association of Realtors, and what they proposed, being the Department of Justice, is that the seller cannot pay the buyer's commission because it's against antitrust. It's like you're competing somebody that's competing against you. I guess that's how they put it. And so, but I think that doesn't hold a lot of water in this case, because and eventually the buyer is the one putting up the money. So, it's I don't know how it's going to play out. We'll see come March, April.
Well, what I was looking at that to relate to us is, since prices are going up, right? Everyone's making more per deal, right? If you're on a same percentage point. So what I'm probably, we're talking about it right now because, we do our comp plans, and I'm probably going to go a little light, on this first quarter or two, so I can even more separate myself, from some other lenders. And that way, while, there's a little turbulence, I could still, keep my name out there, keep performing, keep the numbers up, and everything will work itself out. And I think with the higher values, in the end number won't be that much different, but the borrowers will get a much better deal in the interim.
Yeah, and the buyer's agents and the seller's agents, their commission has pretty much been cut 1%, 0.5% a piece. It's
2.5.
Yeah, per side. Yeah. So, and a lot of that is because of the increased price. I mean, since the foreclosures, since 2008, prices have just continued to increase, and agents have therefore continued to make more money for the same. And wouldn't say anymore it's the same amount of work because of all the multiple offers and the supply and demand issues and how many houses you have to show people and what have you. But the price, I guess the price kind of makes up for the difference there.
Yeah, so I think, for both of us, it'll be like that, even if it gets a little more competitive, because technology's out there, and, you have I see a lot more offer pads on contracts than I have before. And it's shocking what offer pad, pays itself. It's like $500 or $1,000. But that said, that's just the same as you go on the internet and you see some lending tree, stuff that appears before you, and it's a boiler room, and unless you're squeaky clean, perfect, that loan's probably going to have an issue, and you're not going to get any attention. So there's a difference in my world. There's a lot difference of service from that bare bottom lender to kind of where I'm at, and I think people will realize in the realtor world too that even if it seems that they could get something for cheaper, you're going to get what you pay for almost.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a lot of that is just teaser marketing.
Right. Yeah, what kind of debt to income ratios are you seeing right now? Are they creeping up there?
For like my borrowers, like
for your...
you know what? I do so many VAs. A lot of my VA guys are not debt ridden. I haven't really seen like a personal consumer credit increase, but on my end, my credit scores have been high. I kind of have that. That's like my referral of customer though. So I'm a bad example, I think.
Sure.
For that question.
Yeah, because I'm just curious to see as interest rates begin to rise here, what levels of debt to income are right now, on average.
Stats, it says consumer credit's really increasing. Like we went from like an all-time low, when everyone was getting the free money, and now it's going back up like big time. So habits aren't changing, but income changing for that.
Mark, what is the somebody said that they saw someone with a 900 credit score. Do they go up that high?
Never seen it. I thought 850 or something.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Maybe they were mistaken.
In the auto world, I think you have some higher scores. Maybe maybe some auto guy told them what their score was. But yeah, it's anything over a 780 is kind of just like bravo.
Yeah.
You're not getting anything extra. In the jumbo world, you get a lot of benefits to have a high credit score and low loan to value. Whereas like in the conforming world, you just don't get penalties. So where I could maybe give somebody a point in pricing jumbo, I just don't take away pricing on conforming. There's just a grid everybody has, and the vertical part is credit score and the horizontal part is loan to value, and you just match it up.
Now, are you with rates rising? Are you seeing a slowdown in refinances right now?
Well, rate and term refinances, yeah. Cash out, no. People. So maybe that's a way to look at it. I see a lot more cash outs than I have in the past. So is that the mindset that my value is super high and rates are going up? Should I grab it while I can grab it? Or are they using it to, do stuff? I have had a lot of clients pull out cash and buy investment properties.
That's what we want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I like that because that's showing strength in the market, right?
Yeah.
And it works for people. So now you've come to Vegas, they've put down the roots, they've been here 3 years. Now they're ready to buy another home, or they're going to upgrade and rent their home. So
Yeah, well, especially with inflation running at 7%, anywhere between 7-10% right now, you don't want to have too much debt equity that's earning absolutely nothing. So it's better to cash out and buy another rental property.
I mean,
take
if
advantage.
you cash flow it, because the one thing that also we haven't spoken about is rents are doing great.
Oh,
I mean, absolutely. Like when if you're having any type of an investment loan, like when I see those schedule of rents, like I'm shocked, what these 4-bedroom homes with pools are getting. And so the money's there. There's always going to be renters coming to Vegas. What's the average? You said like the age is 34 or 36.
36 in the city. Yeah.
What's the average length of time living here? I know I used to see that stat.
I haven't seen that for a while because I don't think it's remarkable anymore. I think people.
They used to call us kind of transient. It was like 4-point-something years for like the average resident.
I'll look that up because we're doing our research right now for our relocation guide. But I think it's become unremarkable because it's just people come and stay. People like Vegas, and it's grown to be, like with the downtown Summerlin Mall, some of the things that we didn't have before that we have now for the outskirts of the city are causing people to stay in place here more. Wouldn't you say?
What'd you say?
I was going to ask Max if he saw the same thing. I don't see.
Yeah, I haven't seen that stat in a long time, but I mean, it's still. I think the latest statistic is still 50-50 inflow net flow, right? Like 50%, like 50.6%, of net flows came in last year versus 40 point whatever staying here. So I mean, we're stabilizing a lot more than it was 10-12 years ago. As the town grows and they see all the amenities that here, I mean, that's what kept me here. I tried moving back to California. I tried leaving like once, and it just you can't go anywhere that has the same just feel of Las Vegas, right? I mean,
I did something when I was in college. We had what's called a regression analysis. I did something on Vegas. This is 1996. We had the second highest standard of living in the nation with the third lowest cost of living. So that was a remarkable. There was no other city that had like the top of both like that. So that drove us for so long. And I still think that, when you're saying the amenities and all that, there's few places like this city with how new we are and we keep building. And, as you see the sports teams, like we kind of are getting things that, what so-called real cities have, right?
Yeah, we're a real city now.
And the next up, what's going to happen? Are we going to get basketball? Are we going to get baseball? NBA says they're going to expand. We're going to, we'll get one of those teams.
Well, they just announced, I think yesterday, that the hockey league is moving here.
Which one?
Oh, I don't know.
I think there's all-star games coming up out here. I know we have both like the Pro Bowl and I think the NHL All-Star.
I did know what it was and I wrote it down somewhere. But it's the National Soccer League is coming here.
Soccer League.
Yeah. What did
MLS.
I say?
Hockey.
Oh.
Forgive me. And I think Carolyn Goodman announced it.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry I said hockey.
If you think about it, I mean, this town is poised for hosting that type of event, like any type of sporting event, because people will travel here. Because on top of the sporting event, they can go out and get the entertainment, the gambling, the food, the vacation. I mean, it's just it cultivates that type of like travel. It's an event that happens here, not just going to a football game and then going home. It's like people will come here to travel and stay and gamble and do all those things. I mean, it's great. It's amazing to see how it's grown. And these people aren't building billion-dollar stadiums because Las Vegas is shrinking in size. They're doing it because they understand the demographic is expanding here. So
we solve
exciting.
We solve water, and we got nothing to worry about, right?
Well, there was a preview Las Vegas last Tuesday, and it went from 8:30 to 2:30 at the Allegiant Stadium, and it was all about the future of Las Vegas, including the water. I was not in a position to go because I had to go to California, but I'm looking. I scoured the net today to see if I could find anything about that presentation that the Water District gave at the preview Las Vegas, they call it. They haven't had one for the past 2 years because of the pandemic, but every year they have one. And this year, to have it at the Allegiant Stadium, I thought, wow, they must have quite a venue, and it's usually excellent.
I could try to get that for you. I have a friend's wife who works for the Water District.
That would be phenomenal, because if I could just talk about that and then put it in our relocation guide and talk about it on my blog.
What was the name of it again?
It was Preview Las Vegas, and the Water District spoke after around noon or lunchtime, something like that.
Yeah, I really think I can get you that.
That would be great.
What else? So I'll tell you what. So I'll tease you guys with one new program that's coming out.
Good.
All right.
We like new.
Max will giggle a little bit. 3.5% down payment up to $1.5 million jumbo. See?
1.5. Wow.
3.5% down payment to $1.5 million, and 5% down to either 1.75 2 million. I forget.
Wow. What's the MI rate on that one?
No MI.
No MI, jumbo loan 3.5 million or 3.5% down up to 1.5 million. Wow.
Let's see what the rates are going to look like. Yeah, it's like we're all kind of joking. Like,
right.
We're
7%.
Like 9% rate at it. I mean, if it's low fours or so, I mean, something to think about.
Absolutely.
Right. No.
So it could get somebody into a bigger house who can afford the payment, but is just cash poor. And there are a lot of people in Vegas that make great money that just, they don't have $200,000-300,000 in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
But they got 50, they got 80. And so this could get them, in that ball game that they want. And, they know they're going to keep making money. They could pay it down, refinance it at some point afterwards. They also said refis are available on this. Now, I'm not sure if that means cash out or not. That would be nuts.
Yeah.
If they let me go that high cash out.
Oh yeah, that would be nuts. Oh man. That's crazy though. I mean,
it's a big lender. It's not, sometimes you hear these programs and it's like you've never heard of the lender in your life. But this is a product, Caliber and Newrez merge. I forget who bought who, but it's from them. And and that's like the old New Penn, if you remember that lender. So they got Shell Point. I think Shell Point's the hedge fund behind it. They got a ton of money.
You mentioned earlier in the show about like the ARMs coming back. Are you seeing a difference in spread now on the rates?
Mm-hmm. I am. So, it's also for people's plans. A lot of people have, hey, we're going to live here and our kids are graduating and then we're going to downsize. So if you're getting out of a product in a determined amount of time, why pay an extra interest? Because you're never going to have that 30-year fixed benefit till kind of, year 10, 11, 12.
Right.
Whereas you could, instead of me starting you off at like 3.25, what if I started you off at 2.375? Now you're paying extra for principal, and so for some people it's going to make sense. I have an amazing jumbo ARM product. I like to sell the 7 and the 10-year. I think that's a long time. 2.5 to 2.625 up to 3 million. I got to charge a point on that one, but because it's that type of loan, the bank doesn't pay me anything. So right. There's different ways to look at it. You find the product, and it works. When you do it that way. Because if I had to bump the rate up to get payment from the bank to get my compensation because we're at a set rate. It would just obliterate the rate. So I want to show the best rate, and that's almost like a retail bank mentality. You walk in the bank, it's very rare you're going to see, a rate and an APR dead the same. They're always tacking in a half point, 1 point, even more when you go in retail.
Yeah, and you're right about the service level, though. I mean, if anyone's ever dealt with a retail bank loan officer, right? I mean, 2 years ago, they were taking 9 months to do cash out refinances.
Yeah. I used to get a lot from One Nevada because so many people were going in. There were perfect loans, but they had, 2 guys doing it.
Right.
And they're on a salary, remember. We're not on salaries. So,
right.
In our world. So we're trying to, get things closed and done in our relationships because I don't have someone walking through that door, 50 times a day. It's all about, word of mouth, how you treat people, referrals, your pricing. If I was the highest priced guy in town, yet I was the nicest, there's guys out there, that's their living. And people are very comfortable working for them. I've always thought, with this yo-yo and our economy and all that rates matter. And when you look at it over a 30-year term, like I'm actually working on just a quick website so someone can punch in their current loan amount, their current rate, how many months they've been in it versus what I'm offering on a pure amortization schedule. Because to show you I'm saving you $275 a month, or to show you I'm saving you $94,000 over a course is really powerful. And now with rates going back up, I think the consumer is used to the low rates. And I think that they're going to shop a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But I've been wrong before.
Yeah. People are, I think most people are aware, but they're going to get a little sticker shock when they see the people going this year, especially with rates rising.
I like when people shop. I mean, it makes me know that they see the value in my deal, one advice to all the realtors who are listening to this, if the lender says don't shop, it's maybe a little concerning. Like, why not?
Right. Yeah.
Why not show it? I'm expecting a realtor of mine to always have a number 2 and number 3, right? So if it ever comes where all 3 of our deals are on the table, I want to win every time. Every time.
What is typical turnaround time right now for purchases and refinances on your end, Mark?
So quick. Also, depending on type of loan, the non-QM loans are always going to be like, a month, 45 days. Right. On the easy, you got a normal W-2 job, tax returns, all that. I'm slamming stuff in 2 weeks.
Right. Wow. What's the new conforming limit now in Nevada?
647.2, 648.2, something like that.
That's a big increase from 5.
And I think 420s, something like that. It's rare that I get someone's like, I want to just max it out exactly, and then they pay the rest. But right around those numbers, there's still some FHA-able properties, out here, I would say. As you can attend to, we're losing, the nice stuff in the $300,000 range, the low $400,000 range. Mm-hmm. That's kind of bye-bye now, unless you want like a 2-bedroom or something like that. So FHA is not as helpful in this town. They should have gone a little higher, because my VA can go $220,000 higher. Why so much?
Why the difference? That doesn't make any sense at all.
No, but there's a difference, there's funding fees, and it's nice to see progress, right? So will it keep going that way? We'll see.
Yeah.
So I can't use a lot of I don't know if you've heard of Home Ready, Home Style. There's a lot of other programs that are available in other states for, to help people with, median to low incomes, like FHA was designed when you price out of FHA. But our median income out here, as you were saying, it's 51 grandish. If you have a married couple, you can't qualify for it, because we have income limits on those too. But there's something out there for most everybody. As long as you have a credit score over, I'd say 640 and above, you're going to get a loan if you have a nice job and you're not just, pelted with debt.
Yeah.
there are stuff out there. Still no stated, still no option arms.
The day stated comes out again, I think I'm going to sell all my properties.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Stated comes out again. I'm putting my houses on the market, Mark. I'm waiting. I don't know how those were some wild times back then in 2001, 2, 3, and 4. So
yeah, I remember World Savings was the first stated loan I ever did.
World Savings was like the first entry into like subprime mortgages back in the early 90s, right? I mean, so
yeah, and I'm from Northern California, so they were really big out there. They had like some huge building, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't. We'll see what's going on with it. As long as everybody pays their bills, right?
Yeah.
Stuff works, and just don't treat your house as an ATM. Same lessons as before.
Exactly.
You borrow, you got to pay it back.
So yeah, I mean, now's the time for all real estate agents right there. You're going to have to be even more professional with your buyers and educating your listings as well on what's happening in the mortgage world, because things are changing and shifting. And if your selling agent or if your seller wants to list $200,000 above listing price and rates are 3 points higher, a 1.5 higher this summer, they might not be able to get that price, and you need to understand that traction's there. So appreciate you coming on, Mark. I mean, we're almost right at the top of the hour. And you, Ruth, you have
we need to go 49ers from Ruth.
Actually, the last thing the last thing I want to ask you is like, what kind of bets are you putting on this playoff here?
I've had, I like to bet futures. So Ruth and I spoke last weekend before it started, and she wanted to bet the Raiders more than anything, and we stopped her. But I had this, so I kind of reloaded on the 49ers at 25-1 last week.
To win it all.
To win it all, and they're an underdog.
Right,
they're 5-6 point dogs today. They're going to be an underdog next week too. But man, they're the hot team, I feel.
Okay.
And then in the AFC, that thing's wide open. Great games this weekend. I mean, just absolutely great matchups all around. But I think the Rams are going to give Brady all they want, and I predict 49ers Rams again next weekend, just like week 17 in LA.
I think.
You don't think the Buccaneers are going to the Super Bowl?
I've seen.
What about the Packers here? I mean,
I'm an upset. So I like underdogs. If the favorite always won, that saying.
Yeah,
I like the Bills for the Super Bowl.
The Bills could really just roll right through to that. I mean, that could be great. Yeah. Bills Mafia in LA.
Yeah,
that would be amazing. Right. But no, I'm predicting. If I had to predict the Super Bowl, I'm going to say Niners Tennessee.
Okay. Well, when's Derrick Henry get back?
Today.
Today. Okay, that kind of changes things. So
big time. I mean, it's going to be some great games. So everybody enjoy the day of football, and thanks for having me. Anybody needs any help with mortgages, give me a ring. Yeah,
give Mark a ring. Appreciate Mark coming on again, educating us all again. Ruth.
All right, take care, guys.
All right,
Mark,
what is happening?
Mark, hold on. I was looking for this. What's your phone number?
702-929-8220.
8220. Hold on. Let me show everybody that.
Flash.
Come on.
She's trying to do a banner.
Yeah.
So, at the bottom. So.
Yep. We've got a couple classes this week.
I say
You said the odds dropped though, right? After this week?
Yeah, so they're 12-1 now. If they beat Green Bay, I mean it's on. I personally, if they beat,
we lost him. Where'd he go?
Oh.
We lost him.
I don't know.
Darn. I wanted to hear that.
So if they beat Green Bay, it's going to probably be 5-1.
Yeah.
So, but no, appreciate Mark coming on. Ruth, what is happening in training this week, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Sure, absolutely. So we have a agency class on Monday from 2 to 5. And it's all about the duties owed and how to stay compliant. And, the consumer signs a one-page disclosure agreement, which basically discloses what our duties are to all parties, what our duties are to the client. However, the division takes that one page and unpacks it in 22 pages of, how what we do say and how we respond to questions, how we help the consumer find what they want. There's a lot of moving parts to it. So 22 pages in the Nevada law and on real estate agency basically define what that one page means. The consumer, it's simple for the consumer to understand, but for the real estate agent, you really have to know what all that means and how it interacts. I mean, there's so many moving parts to the transaction and how you treat your clients with fair, honest dealings. So honesty to all parties, fair dealings, and fiduciary responsibility or loyalty, and how that trickles through the agreements that you sign and how that trickles through the transaction on the journey that the buyer and seller take. So it's a great class, and Jimmy Dague is always interesting. You learn and you have a little fun at the same time. He has a great dry sense of humor. And you get to happy hour because it's 2 to 5. So
there you go.
Yeah,
There
and then on Friday we have our risk reduction class, and that's from 10 to 1. And risk reduction is a new class that is required for these agents to take this year. So, and it's a great class. We talk a lot about cybersecurity as well as other parts of risk reduction and how you reduce your risk and the things that you can do to keep your clients safe and your transaction closed. So lots of good things.
Yeah, fantastic. So sign up at bee.vegas.
Correct.
All right. Everybody have a great week here. The second half of the month is coming, or actually one more week, right? 1 week and a half here. So get out there.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
All right. Already February.
Yes,
the first month almost down completely. All right, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you, everybody, for your comments and your likes, and subscribe on my YouTube channel, Ruthie Rocks.
All right.
Bye, everybody. See you.
Bye, everybody.
See you Monday.